welcome back to the channel. Today we'll be taking a look at top 10 naked sport bikes. Number 10. Suzuki GSX-S 1000. Suzuki is well known for their legendary GSX line of bikes. They currently have at least 15 various versions in their lineup, not counting the Katana. And though the Katana is a fantastic bike, with great pedigree, it is the GSX-S 1000 that is the ultimate naked sport bike in Suzuki's stable. And the reason for that is because of how practical and inexpensive it is. Yes, we know that sport bikes aren't meant to be practical, but the GSX-S 1000 is the perfect offering for the rider that wants one bike to do it all. And for that price, it'll be hard to find anything else as exciting, stylish, and dare we say, approachable in the naked sport bike category. Number 9. Yamaha MT-10. Yamaha is the current king of the naked sport bike class, with no fewer than 10 models in the lineup. While the likes of the MT-07 and MT-09 were designed as naked bikes from the outset, the MT-10 is a YZF or one without the clothes. That's not to say it isn't aggressively styled, as it looks short, stumpy and uncompromising. Like the BMW, it is powered by an inline 4-cylinder, 998 cubic centimeters engine, but unlike the BMW, the cross-plane crank gives it the feel and sound of a V4. 165 horsepower and 82 pound-feet of torque pushing along 467 pounds of weight will always make for something exciting, while the chassis is more than capable of handling it, having been designed for much more power. The MT-10 was the first production motorcycle to be fitted with Öhlins next-generation electronic semi-active suspension with 3 preset modes and 3 rider-adjustable modes. Naturally, there is also a comprehensive suite of electronics. Number 8. BMW S1000R. Back in 2009, BMW shocked the world with the S1000RR Superbike. Built initially to go world superbike racing, but quickly offered to the public with great fanfare. In line with naked sports bike thinking, the engine in the S1000R Naked has been detuned to 165 horsepower, while the torque figure sits 1 pound-foot higher at 84 pound-feet. But it's in the usability that the BMW S1000R really scores, happy to potter around town in 4-cylinder smoothness with absolutely no protest. Or give it everything around a track, with a riding position that won't leave you needing a chiropractor. Typical BMW build quality and attention to detail, it might be down on power compared to most others on this list, but it is as polished a performer as you could possibly wish for. Number 7. Indian FTR Sport. How do you tell Harley-Davidson apart from Indian? Well, Harley gave us, arguably one of the most exciting American motorcycles in the past decade, the Pan America. But what can Indian do to break away from the same comparison? Well, they went ahead and did what Harley couldn't. They released a naked sport bike and rubbed Harley's nose in it by calling it the FTR 1200, after the flat tracker that's been beating HD on dirt ovals all over the US. And with this year's sport variant, they've doubled down on the racing portion of it. It's lower, more aerodynamic, and has some great race-inspired additions like the fly screen, the seat cowl and lower spoiler. Of course, the 120 horsepower isn't something to be ignored either. Number 6. Kawasaki ZH2. The Ninja H2 set new standards for sport bikes when it appeared in 2015, even if it was more sports tourer than an out-and-out superbike. What wasn't in doubt was its astonishing, supercharged 1,000 cubic centimeters engine and the relentless shove in the back it gave the rider when the throttle was flipped open. It was logical for Kawasaki to strip off the fairing to offer another variation on the theme. And if the Ninja H2 was striking because of its silver-based paint, then the ZH2 is striking because of the aggressive naked styling that exposes more of the trellis frame painted in a contrasting color to the skimpy bodywork. It's not lightweight, sitting at 527 pounds, compared to the 460 pounds of the Aprilia Tuono V4, but if that mitigates against it being an out-and-out sport bike, then it certainly doesn't detract from it being an engineering tour de force. Number 5. Triumph Speed Triple 1200 RS. For 2022, Triumph completely redesigned the Speed Triple, first seen in 1994, in order to keep up with the new generation of naked sport bikes, and it has worked. Now with 178 horsepower, 92 pound-feet of torque, and 437 pounds of weight, it remains one of the best handling sports bikes out there. Like the KTM and MV Agusta, another original design not derived from anything else, and all the better for it. Öhlins fully adjustable suspension front and back, Brembo brakes, full electronic suite, and even cruise control, coupled with class-leading comfort and a really easygoing nature, but still with a sharp bite, make this one of the best naked sport bikes you can buy. Number 4. Aprilia Tuono V4 Factory. The Italians have certainly got a handle on the mad, bad, and dangerous naked sport bike angle. Like Ducati, Aprilia simply stripped off the bodywork from the RS-V4 super sports bike to create a naked sports bike that many reviewers deemed to be the best in the current company. Unlike the Ducati, the Tuono V4 Factory's power has been reduced to 175 horsepower, from the 217 horsepower of the RS-V4, while torque remains virtually the same. It doesn't matter, the Tuono V4 Factory still feels insanely fast and blurs the lines between out-and-out super sport bikes and naked bikes. Uncompromising, yes, but also razor sharp if you have the talent to explore the depths. As with the Ducati, the electronics, aerodynamics, and certain chassis parts owe a lot to MotoGP technology and design, and it also adds semi-active suspension for the ultimate riding performance. Number 3. KTM 1290 Super Duke R Evo. The KTM 1290 Super Duke R was designed from the outset as a naked sport bike and not a converted super sports bike. They call it the Beast, and it's easy to see why. 180 horsepower, 104 pound-feet of torque, 432 pounds weight. Unbridled insanity. With the limited edition Evo model, WP semi-active suspension is fitted, which attempts to contain the ferocity of the performance. The current engine and chassis are even lighter, while the tubular steel frame has vastly increased torsional rigidity for even sharper handling. There's also a lot of adjustability in the ergonomics department, so the rider can really tailor the ride to his or her liking. It's a street bike, but equally at home on the racetrack, but you'll have to have the extreme talent to get the most out of it. The 1290 Super Duke has been around since 2014 and gets better every year, although you do have to wonder how much further KTM can go without having to redefine the laws of physics. Number 2. Ducati Street Fighter V4. Many manufacturers alter the power characteristics of the naked versions of their super sport bikes, reducing overall horsepower and moving the torque peak lower down the rev range. Not Ducati. The arrival of the V4 Panigale was a break with tradition, but the move was logical as the V-twin was nearing the end of its development possibilities. Predictably, a naked version was not long in arriving, and the Street Fighter V4 arrived with a frankly bonkers 208 horsepower and 90 pound-feet of torque. With an all-in weight of 392 pounds, this was the most violent naked sport bike you could buy with a top speed, if you could hang on, of 180 miles per hour. The Street Fighter V4 really is basically a super sports bike with the fairing removed and a set of straight handlebars, and with no concession to softening up the ride. Massive, MotoGP-derived electronics package and also downforce-generating winglets at the front. Number 1. MV Agusta Brute Ale 1000RR. This bike is brute ale by name, brutal by nature, and brutal in appearance. MV Agustas used to be models of Italian artistry, but today, they look like Transformers, which is no bad thing. Like the Ducati V4 Street Fighter, the power output is 208 rasping, snarling horsepower, with 86 pound-feet of torque available. With those figures, the MV Agusta is on par with the Ducati, even if the looks might not be. It's a true naked bike in that every mechanical and other component is visible. It's at once visually startling and aggressive, which matches the riding experience. Bring your A game. And with this we have reached the end of this video. If you found it informative, then please like and subscribe for more future upload.